Good morning, everyone. Well, who's up for an adventure? Because we got a pretty big one today. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Alanna and I'm a Canadian, but I live here in the UK. Now, in London, there are blue plaques that are quite famous. If you've never heard of them before, maybe not so famous. But these blue plaques are awarded to places of significance. So someone of importance lived there or worked there or stayed there. And so there's these blue plaques all over London. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to do a video where I try to find the 10 most influential blue plaques? So that's what we're doing today. And in my mind, I thought, wow, this is gonna be so fun and interesting. And then as I've been planning out which 10 I want to go see, this is gonna be quite an ordeal. I'm estimating it's gonna take maybe 7 hours with travel time. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I've already decided we're gonna do this. My train tickets are booked and my train leaves soon, so no backing out now. Anywho, that's like the general gist of this video. Now, of course, how do you decide the 10 most influential? I decided. Me. If you disagree with my list, first off, that's rough. Second off, leave a comment down below. Who do you think I should have included? What is your top 10? Do you know what I mean? I haven't even made a dent in my coffee. My bag is out. My bag is packed. It says it's gonna be a high of 17 today, which I don't agree with. I feel like that's a lie. So I'm gonna go with a t-shirt. I wonder if I could maybe jam a hoodie into my bag or something because it's kind of cold right now. Anyway, it's not important. Thank you for clicking on this video. I'm kind of stalling because I am terrified of how much time and effort this is going to take, but I am really excited because as a Canadian, this kind of like, what's the word I want? This type of history we really don't get in Canada. We're too young. Anyway, I need to get going. I have that fear that I'm gonna miss my train, even though I know I probably got 45 minutes. It doesn't matter. Anyway, no more stalling. It's time to go. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. I think this is our biggest adventure so far for my solo trip series. I have a solo trip series on my channel. If you're interested, doesn't matter. We have to go. No more talking. We have to go. All right, everyone, we are here. So just got out of the station and my phone says this is about a 17 minute walk and it's the same really on the bus. So we're just gonna walk. It's a beautiful day. I'm probably gonna regret this later. But our first stop is a British author. So leave a comment if you can guess who it is. And it's actually so sunny, I'm gonna dig my sunglasses out and I'll meet you when we get there. I'll see you when we get there. Give me 17 minutes to walk, maybe 20 because I'll probably take a wrong turn and then we'll be at number 1. Stop number 1, 1 out of 10. This was probably a mistake, but that's okay, I'm excited. Everyone, and we are here. Is it too loud? I was hoping to do this audio like at the place. We'll have to see. Anyway, we are on Doughty Street. Can you guess why? Have you guessed? Because Charles Dickens lived here. Do I need to explain who Dickens is? One of the most famous Victorian authors, most famous Victorian British author. Do we even need to say British? Anyway, so he lived here from 1837 to 1839, writing Oliver Twist and Nicholas Nickleby. I gotta say, it is a beautiful street. and it was bin day on the street prior as I was walking here, so I feel like I got the real like Victorian experience, right? It smelled. Welcome to London. So Charles Dickens, his house, this house is now the Charles Dickens Museum, and it's open, but we simply don't have time today. So the reason I originally wanted to do this video is because this sort of idea, is this loud? The reason I wanted to do this was the idea of incredibly famous and influential people living and working in this city is not really a concept in Toronto. Can I say that? Canada's wonderful. We have a lot of history. We don't have history like this. So the fact that you can come here to Charles Dickens, you know, lived here, wrote here, we just don't have that. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I wanted to make this video, was the fact that I could then experience them all myself. And also, can I say, I love, look at the size of these doors. Wonderful. How much do you think rent is? I think it's better if you just don't ask. And to be honest, can I say this? Oh, is this a safe space? I don't think I've ever read Charles Dickens. It wasn't a book that I had to read at school. We had to read Shakespeare, if that counts, but we didn't have to read Charles Dickens. So maybe this year, this will be the year. Okay, so our next plaque, it looks like we are walking back the way we came. We're going back to the train station, and then I think I can take a bus. So today's gonna be a long day. Anyway, it's a beautiful day. It's not supposed to rain. I'm actually kind of already sweaty, so that's exciting. All right, this has been Charles Dickens. Beautiful street, beautiful architecture, beautiful history. You know, just got history everywhere. And check back with me in about a half an hour when we go to plaque number 2, a woman. Can you guess who? Have a think. Woman plaque number 2. All right, we have to say goodbye. We just simply have to get going. All right, everyone, we are at stop number 2. Did you guess who it is? It is Virginia Woolf. And because this is a safe space, I can admit that I am not familiar with any of her works. I'm familiar with her, okay? I understand her significance and her importance, but I haven't actually read anything, which is criminal. And to be honest, this whole challenge has really inspired me to go back and read some. I'm gonna read Dickens and I'm gonna read Woolf, mark my words. All right, so Virginia Woolf lived here from 1907 to 1911, during which she was part of the influential Bloomsbury Group. Interesting fact, her house was later turned into a hospital. Also, I didn't realize there's 2 plaques. Granted, not a blue plaque, but still 2 plaques. So George Bernard Shaw also lived here 1887 to 1898. Interestingly, he doesn't get a blue plaque, but he still gets a plaque. And I will say, having walked and taken the tube from stop 1 to stop 2, we have passed like multiple blue plaques. They're not on my list, but like even in this beautiful square, just down the road, that way, there's another blue plaque. They're literally everywhere. And this is such a pretty square. So this is the Fitzroy Square. We got to do something about this hair. Hold on. I think when I took my sunglasses off, the nose got stuck and it's pulled this piece out. Anyway, this square is so pretty and it's so peaceful. There's like a bunch of benches and it's actually quite busy. People like sitting and having lunch and everything. Can you read that sign? There is no poo fairy. It's a beautiful square. So pick up your dog poop. Anyway, Virginia Woolf lived here. We've got 2 authors so far on our list. I think they are worthy of being included in the top 10, but you let me know if that's wrong, because I'm sure there will be people who say that's wrong. And what a beautiful day. What a beautiful square. Have a look at this building. Hold on. There we go. I don't know, this is the type of like architecture that I love in London. It's so pristine. Now, London doesn't all look like this. I think that goes without saying, but it's just beautiful. All right, I'm kind of getting hungry. Can you hear the birds? I'm kind of getting hungry, but I think if we go to our next stop and then maybe I'll grab like a sandwich somewhere. So we are leaving Virginia. Thank you very much. This is a beautiful square, beautiful place. We are going back to the tube. We're taking 2 tubes, a transfer, and then we are walking. That doesn't make sense. I'm gonna have to Google it. But we are going to Mayfair, and it is not an author. So have a think. Who do you think is included? Now, they're not British. I didn't say they're all British people, right? But 10 most influential blue plaques. That's the concept, and I'm sticking by it. Anyway, not an author and not British, but we're going to Mayfair, and I'm starting to get a little bit peckish. So fingers crossed, we can get there in one piece. All right, everybody, we are at stop 3, and there are jackhammers. So I'm going down a spooky alleyway to hopefully get away from it. Okay, so we are at stop 3, about 20 minutes-ish, 20-plus-ish minutes from our last. And yes, it is Jimi Hendrix. Now, is he worthy of the top 10? I think so. That's why I've included him. But what I thought was super cool is that Jimi Hendrix lived there, right? Wrote there, not for very long. And next door, well before Jimi Hendrix time, was Handel. So there's a joint museum, Hendrix and Handel, that you can go to, which I just think is incredible. So Hendrix lived at that flat from 68 to 69 while working on his album Electric Ladyland. 10 out of 10 album, do recommend. And Frederick Handel was next door, and he actually died there. So pour one out for them both, quite frankly. Yes, I am sweaty, and yes, I am getting hangry, but one thing that this challenge has really pushed me to do is I have never been here. I've been to London hundreds of times, can I say that now? And I've never been here. I've never seen any of these plaques. Most of these roads I didn't know existed. So it's kind of like forcing me to see all this cool stuff that normally I wouldn't see. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I hope this is something. Is this something? Because I'm hoping. Fun fact about me, I was really into Jimi Hendrix. I discovered him in high school, and I was like, wow. So I thought he was worthy of being on this list. And I love the fact that Handel, another like unbelievably influential musician, was right next door. Well, not when he was there, but you know what I mean. Wow, that sun. What a day. I am dripping sweat. Okay, so stop 3, an American guitarist, musician, singer, whatever you want to classify him, musical genius, perhaps. Number 4 is another musician, but very, very different. Can you guess which one? We are going to Belgravia. WS1W. Does that mean anything to anybody? But I am getting pretty hungry. So maybe on our walk to the tube, I'm gonna have a look for a Sandy. I could use a Sandy and a drink. And then on to stop number 4. I wonder what time I'm gonna get home tonight. I'm probably just gonna fall asleep on the train, to be completely honest. Anyway, off to stop number 4. Thank you guys so much for watching, by the way. I know this is maybe not my usual, perhaps. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you're still watching, thank you. No more talking, we have to get moving. All right, everyone, what is this? Stop 4? We are in a wealthy area, let me tell you. Oh my God, everybody looks so rich. This looks like a somewhat busy road, but I saw a little garden with a little statue. Let's do our update there. But across the street, this is our next stop. Did you guess what it is yet? All right, everyone, how's this? Can you hear me? This place, there's a lot of money here, and I'm feeling a little bit out of place, if you will. Who's this sweaty girl with a camera and a little microphone? All right, so we are here. Now, the road is called Mozart. Surprise! So Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, why do they have a plaque here? Because in 1764, as an 8-year-old, he composed his first symphony. So he stayed in this particular house while he was composing as a child. And I get anxiety making a phone call. We are not the same. So this was 1764. My little research said that he spent his time in London performing for King George III, where he impressed the English court with his musical genius. Happy for him. And it looks like it is a private home. I didn't want to like get too close because it does look like somebody lives there. But can you imagine? Just like, yeah, I live where Mozart composed his first symphony. No biggie. I wonder what their council tax is like. Anyway, we are at Orange Square. And if we just turn around real quick, we've got a little statue. Let's have a look, shall we? Born January 1756, died December 1791. Beautiful statue though, and a beautiful just like area. This whole place is so bougie. So why is Mozart included? Do I have to like convince you? I think it's pretty important, and I think it's pretty cool that his first symphony was composed here. Imagine all of my research is wrong. And I think it goes without saying he is the youngest person on our adventure today. This is stop 4. I feel like I've been doing this for so long. No, this is only stop 4, but he is the youngest. But it is a beautiful place here. This is probably the most peaceful so far. I think Jimi Hendrix was the most chaotic, but there's like loads of construction and stuff going on, like jackhammers and whatever. This feels very chill and wealthy. But our next stop, all right, that was stop 4. Stop 5, we again are traveling. We're traveling all day today. And we are going to West Kensington. This is not a musician and a non-Brit. Who do you think is in West Kensington that deserves to be on this list? Leave a comment. If you're still watching, oh my God, thank you. If nobody watches this video, I'll be so sad. All right, let me map out where we're going. But yes, West Kensington for a non-musical Brit. But this has been Mozart. This place is absolutely gorgeous. I love the little statue of him. They named the road after him. I mean, why not, right? Who else are you gonna name it after? Oh man, my feet are starting to hurt. All right, we're saying goodbye to Mozart and we are on the road again. All right, everyone, we are here in West Kensington on a pretty quiet road, minus whoever's doing some construction, because we are every stop construction. However, on that side of the road, white flat. Did you know Gandhi studied law in London? Because I didn't, and Gandhi lived here as a law student, which is just wild. What a city, eh? It's like everybody lived here at one point. Okay, so why the plaque? Because he lived here as a law student in 1888 before returning to India to begin his activism. So he came here to study law. A bunch of places that I was reading was like, this was deeply influential to Gandhi, like his time in London, in England. Let's just assume that's the case.
But it's so funny. I almost feel like I should be whispering because the street is so quiet and you've just got these like rows and rows and rows of flats, and it's just like it's so quiet. I feel like my voice is echoing. But this is number 5 on our tour, West Kensington, Gandhi. Is it worth being on the list? I think so. Plus, I was just so surprised he studied law here. That guy looked out the window. You know what? I'm never gonna see him again, so that's okay. I gotta be honest though, I am exhausted. I texted my partner and I was like, just arrived at stop 5, and he's like, great, is that the last one? No. I don't know if I'm gonna get all 10, I'll be completely honest. I'm so tired. It has been an absolute beautiful day. Look at, can you see the sky? Blue sky. That is so rare, but it is hot. And I guess I didn't like conceptually understand how much travel time we would be doing. I spent like 8 minutes at the plaque. Oh, wow, this is history right here. I can come see this living history. And then I get back on the tube, and the tube has the heating on. Why is that? Anyway, thanks for listening to my rant. All right, so we had a Indian political activist. Is that how you would describe Gandhi? We've had Gandhi. Nope. Stop 5, I forgot words for a second. Stop 6, we are going to see a director. I added him to this list because I personally think he's incredible, and I have a little tidbit story, a little personal story about him. When we get there, remind me, I'll probably forget. Leave a comment down below, who do you think it is? Have you gotten any of them right? I'd be pretty impressed. I still got some of my drink, so I'm just gonna stand for a second in the shade, have a drink, and then back to the tube and onwards to, what did I say? Southwest 5. I started this at 11 o'clock, just after 11. I got into London just after 11. It is now past 2 o'clock and we are halfway through. So pray for me, all right? I'm acting like this is this horrible thing. I chose to do this and I'm having a great time. Don't listen to me complain. Anyway, we have to get going. Director, leave a comment down below. Who's it gonna be? Hello everyone, take a seat. I found this random step. Our next stop is on a main road and it's a little bit noisy, but did you guess where we went? Or where I am, or whatever tense I'm supposed to be speaking in? Yo, I'm so tired. Now of course on Cromlin Road, we are talking about Alfred Hitchcock. So, I'm assuming you know who that is. Do people not know who? Alfred Hitchcock is one of the most famous suspense horror directors. He kind of made the genre, to be fair. Now, why the plaque? Because this was his childhood home before he became a filmmaker. So he lived here as a kid, which is crazy. I guess I just never really think of these people as children. I can only imagine what it must have been like growing up here. Obviously, I don't live in London. I've never lived in London. I've always lived in Kent. And I like that. I like that I can come here and I can visit and I can do trips and whatever, but I don't live here. I think it's just a bit much for me. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of sights. There's a lot of people. Oh, there's a lot of smells, all right? Do you know what I mean? I mean, any big city is like that, right? Now, my fun little story about Alfred Hitchcock is that when I was in middle school, so like 13, 12-ish, we had a course or like a module in my English class where we had to do public speaking and we had to write a speech and then perform said speech in front of the class. And do you know who I picked? I did a speech on Alfred Hitchcock. Yes. At 12 years old. I just thought he was super cool. And to be honest, I think it was a great speech. Why is Hitchcock included on this list? He's influential, he's interesting, and I like him. And if you don't agree, well, that's tough. Actually, I want to sit back down. I'm tired. All right, everyone, I just had to sit for like 10 minutes and contemplated my life and my choices, but I think we can do this. We're at least gonna get a couple more before I crash. I crash and burn and I have a nap on the side of the road. So our next one, how do I describe him? Well, a man, a British man, a professional British man who is not an author necessarily, a poet, no, or a musician. So he's a British man, he's professional, maybe he wrote a couple books, but that's not kind of why he's famous. Does that make sense? Oh, it's probably so windy, I'm so sorry. Anyway, let's get going to number 7, British mystery man. All right, everyone, literally 5 minutes down the road from Alfred Hitchcock, we are in this gorgeous, oh my God, gorgeous place, because this one on the end, that one was the home of Howard Carter. So Howard Carter is the British archeologist who discovered Tutankhamun. Lived right here. So Howard Carter discovered the tomb in 1922. Why is he on our list? Because I think that's pretty cool. And also, unbelievable architecture here. And it just so happened to be down the street from Alfred Hitchcock, who I also wanted to include. Absolutely beautiful. And a nice corner property. Although, to be fair, if I had any one of these, I think I'd be all right. So yes, this is where Howard Carter lived. Tutankhamun, archaeology. I don't know about you, but when I watched the Mummy, what was that, 1999? The Mummy, I wanted to be an archaeologist. So Howard had to be included. Okay, so while we are here, I think our next stop is very close. And you're probably saying, Alanna, you're only picking ones that are close to each other now because you're really tired. And you're not wrong. But I also think they're worthy, and you're gonna see why. And also my camera is starting to die. It's been a long day. All right, everyone, we are here literally 5 minutes from Carter is Diana Spencer. So if my math is right, she moved here when she was 18, but the architecture of these buildings are so nice. And when I think of London, like, this is kind of the vibe that I think of. But it is kind of crazy, and I think while I have traveled a lot today, my feet are screaming. The fact that we are in the same city and basically a 5-minute walk from Howard Carter, the man, British archaeologist who discovered this unbelievable tomb, literally down the road was where Princess Diana lived when she was 18. It's just like, it's kind of hard to express the amount of history. That sounds stupid, but do you know what I mean? I feel like in Canada, obviously we've had a lot of history and we had famous people and people live in Toronto and whatever, but it's nothing like this. And I do think British people take it for granted. I don't think, you walk by this stuff all the time. You don't really think about the influence or the significance. Is that fair to say? So this is Diana Spencer, lived here, beautiful property. What can you say, eh? So our next stop is about a 10-minute walk. And I know what you're gonna say, Alanna, you're only picking these because they're close together. I think all of my choices are valid. I'm sure people in the comments are saying, oh my God, you're wrong. And that's totally cool. If I've missed a really important plaque, because my God, there's a lot of them, please leave a comment down below. If you like this sort of like tour history thing, let me know. But we are going to continue on. We're saying bye to Diana Spencer, and we are going down the road, literally just down the road, to our next stop. So what was that? 9? No. Are we up to 9? I have to check. Anyway, we gotta get moving. All right, everyone, literally 2 minutes down the road from Diana is a special plaque for Beatrix Potter, the beloved children's author, I would classify. So I would say you'd be hard pressed to find a British person who doesn't know who she is, Peter Rabbit and all those stories. Now, technically, she was not really part of my childhood. I didn't really read Beatrix Potter as a kid, so maybe less influential to my life, but I still think worthy to be on the list, and not just because she's down the road from Diana, I promise. Okay, so I just did a bunch of talking and I realized that this wasn't on. I don't remember what I said. So if that audio is really bad, deeply sorry. I just realized I came around the corner from Beatrix. This is like a slightly quieter street, and there's this huge house in front of me, and they have their own blue plaque. Turn this around one sec. Although it looks kind of different, like maybe not an official one. Do you guys know who Jenny Lind is, a singer? She lived here. Look at the size of it. Gorgeous. Anyway, that's literally not part of the tour, but Jenny Lind looks like a nice house. Don't know who you are. Okay, I've lost track of space and time. I don't remember my own name. I think Beatrix Potter was 8 because I do have 2 more. So our next one is a 25-minute walk. Oh. Anyway, I think we have 2 more unless I die. But Beatrix Potter, beloved writer, not part of my childhood, but I think she deserves to be on the list for what she's done for British literature and children's writing. And yeah, I think if you're watching this and you don't know who Beatrix Potter is, I would be quite surprised. But anyway, my camera's gonna die. I'm gonna charge that, and we're gonna figure out how to get to our 9th stop. All right, everyone, that was a trek. So about a 25-minute walk from, I can't even remember where we were, Potter, wasn't it? About 25-minute walk, we are now here. So when I was coming up with this list, there were 2 that I was kind of going back and forth with. One was T.S. Eliot, which is near here, I think within walking distance, or Benny Hill. And I went with Benny Hill. Name me another list that has Gandhi and Benny Hill on the list together. So Benny Hill lived here from 1960 to 1986. Why include Benny Hill? I think he's influential. I think a lot of people watching this will be like, oh yeah, Benny Hill. I don't know, it felt right. So T.S. Eliot, I said no. But I said yes to Benny Hill. So it's too late now. I've already done it. Now, I wouldn't say that I have like loads of experience with Benny Hill. I did react to one of his songs. I think it was on Patreon and YouTube memberships. The Milkman. So that's kind of my level of understanding. Oh man, it's so windy. I'm so sorry. We are just, what a beautiful street though, eh? It's so funny walking up this street embassies. The Iraq embassy, the Bangladesh embassy, and then Benny Hill's house. So I think this is number 9. So help me if it is not. We're just gonna assume it's number 9. And we are going to, oh, my feet. We are going to number 10. Now number 10, I think is a short walk. If it's not, I might cry. But if you've lasted this long in the video, thank you so much. I hope the audio isn't too bad. I wanted to do this one at the actual place rather than doing the voiceover. So I hope the audio is okay. And I hope the footage is okay. At this point, I have no idea. I'm just out here and I hope it looks all right. But I was really intimidated by this video. I don't know why I keep putting my backpack down and then I just keep picking it up. I was really intimidated about doing this video because I knew it was going to be so tiring, but I wanted to do it, so I'm glad that I did it, even if it's not very popular, even if it's a mess to watch. I'm glad that we're here. Anyway, I got to take out my map and figure out where we're going next. But thank you for listening to this chaos, and I'm hoping the next one is close. I think it is, but I'm not certain. All right, everybody, we did it. Now that was like a 4-minute walk, I want to say, down this weird little like private cul-de-sac just off of Hyde Park. I've never seen this place before. It is so quiet. I feel like I should be whispering. And our final stop, have you guessed it? I forgot to give you hints. British politician. Yeah, it's Churchill. So I never realized that Churchill lived on this road and he died in this house. I was gonna say on this road, in this road, no, in this house. This is where he died. He lived and died. And to be honest, it looks like somebody's house. Like it looks like a private house, which I don't know, kind of gives me the creeps. How would you feel like Winston Churchill died in your house? What if you're haunted by Winston Churchill? Anyway, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful stone home, massive door. All the doors in this part of London, I feel like, are just massive. Down this tiny, quiet, it's not tiny, I don't know why I keep saying tiny, quiet cul-de-sac just off of Hyde Park. Winston Churchill lived here and died here. And this is our final blue plaque. I am so excited that we did this. It has just hit me how bad I need to pee. That's probably too much information. Oh my God, that's gonna be an issue. Once I put this camera away, I'm gonna find a tube station, get back to the train station, and get home. And hopefully find a toilet along the way, and I could use a nice cold drink, you know, maybe a snack. This has been a real experience, and if you've watched this whole video, honestly, truly, thank you. Thank you for encouraging me and supporting me to make content that maybe is a little bit different. Maybe it's a little bit rough around the edges. Maybe it's a little bit hard to watch. I really do appreciate your support, and you are the reason that this channel survives. I think Adventures in Apps is gonna be like 8 years old this summer, which is wild. So for reference, I started at 11 a.m. It is now 4:40 p.m. I think if I rush, I might be able to make the next train. But I gotta pee first. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, supporting me. God bless you. Have I missed your favorite plaque? Leave a comment down below, or just leave a comment anyway, because those are always really nice. As long as it's not a mean comment, in which case that is not very nice. If you would like to watch another solo trip, can I suggest this one? I went to the British Museum to see the best bits in under 1 hour. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, bye.